Next one on the list here is a little movie called Cruella.
Oh shit. Who could that be
Let
about?
me give you some advice. You can't care about anyone else. Everyone else is an obstacle. You care what an obstacle wants or feels, you're dead.
Oh, she's in this.
If I'd cared about anyone or thing, I might have died. You have the talent.
I don't know her name, but I've seen her in some stuff.
Whether you have the killer instinct is the big question.
Not Amy. What? Emma Stone.
No, not Emma Stone.
She thought she owned everyone.
Emma
It's
Thompson.
foolish. Unhinged.
The Emma.
You're fired.
Sorry, the Emmas. I love it.
Why are you speaking?
I think you've nicked me. But there's something about poetic justice that's just so poetic.
Devil Wears
You
Prada
won't
vibes.
admit you love me,
Same
and
first
so
thought that came to my head.
how
Do you have a light?
ever to know? You always tell me.
Get her.
This doesn't have to be a scene.
It really, really does. I'd like to remind you all that I'm doing this in heels.
What was your name?
Just for you guys
Cruella.
watching, though.
If you can make your mind up, we'll never get started.
I want to make trouble. You in?
Oh,
I
she's
do
just
love
like a
trouble.
persona.
Being part
You have a bit of an extreme side. Yes, darling. And what fun that is.
She stole my dogs.
I guess you must hate her.
She has made it me or her. And I choose me.
Don't hurt them.
Don't
Her whole
worry. There's
point
lots
was
more
like she
bad
wanted to
things
skin
coming.
the dogs to make an outfit out of.
So this one
Incredibly
comes out
demented.
tomorrow as well. I will definitely be buying it on Disney Plus or going into the actual theater to watch this one tomorrow. Very excited for this one. I think it's going to be fun. We'll definitely put a review out for this. But what are your initial thoughts to this?
For mine, I actually had no idea what to think of going into it. This is the first I've seen at all outside the promotional material.
Yep.
And I don't know, like I had the villain origin stories with Disney have always been kind of like shitty. Like they made a Maleficent 2 for no reason. I feel like
Yeah,
they
no
just,
one asked for that.
I feel like they accidentally signed on Angelina Jolie for 2 movies and they're like, fuck, we got to make a second one. And like I don't really care for in her they tried to make it like a pathetic thing. But the best parts about the Disney villains were they just were fucking assholes, and like that kind of just this person's a piece of shit, and you got to root for the good guy, and that was enough for me. This is a little different.
Yeah.
You know, at first I thought they were gonna go with that angle with like her having to clean stuff. I'm like, oh, poor Cruella, but I like the angle they're taking where it's like it's through fashion, identity,
Yeah.
and it's kind of her own. It's not like it's not like a sympathetic story, but it's more so just like you just kind of want to see where this goes.
For lack of a better term or movie reference, it's kind of giving me Joker vibes too, where it's like, you know the Joker's a terrible person, but you kind of realize where it happened and why it happened. I recently watched that movie, really still liked it. But yeah, I definitely got Devil Wears Prada vibes. I thought the costume work looked phenomenal. Someone in the chat said, "Are those real dogs?" Yes, they are paid actors. Those are legitimate dog actors. But yeah, I kind of feel the same about origin villain movies and stuff like that. But I think if it's done in a way that there's something we haven't seen or an angle that we haven't seen, I think that can be fun. What I will say is, and this didn't really occur to me, I was listening to Bill Burr's podcast, and he was talking about how he brought his daughter to see Toy Story 2, and they showed Cruella.
Oh, shoot.
They showed Cruella in the theater, and he was like, I appreciate you trying to show things for the kid, for the parents, because they go to these things too. But he was like, I mean, this is definitely not for kids, and I agree. Like, and he said his daughter was like terrified. So it's kind of strange to me. Like, I know you got to find
that trailer.
Yes.
Damn.
Well, I mean, for little kids, I can see why that'd be scary. She's like mean and like she got these like sharp. There's like sharp images and characteristics of the costume and some of the sets. And just
Her dress was on fire for a second. I
yeah,
guess like there's
and
a lot of fast stuff happening.
and it's
So
dark. It's dark. It's not like a lot of bright colors. And I think the thing too is sometimes kids are used to the ending of a movie. Like they know what it's gonna be like. So when there's these new movies that come out and you don't really know, they're kind of like, "Oh, what's the stakes, Dad and Mom?" Or Dad and
that's
Dad, or
true.
Mom and Mom.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah. To
think
that.
all I was gonna say real quick was I think Disney usually does a good job at finding a balance between making it for kids and adults. But some of these villain movies, I kind of have felt they lean a little too dark for me. And I just think that, fundamentally, I know everyone's like, oh, Marvel's for us or DC or whatever, but I think fundamentally that
Yeah.
these things should still be made and partial for kids more than adults. But I don't think that's how it's working anymore.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point. I didn't even consider that until you said that.
Yeah.
Like, I actually don't know who this is for, because like 101 Dalmatians, like having that came out in the 90s,
Yeah.
like even more so. Like I grew up on that,
Right.
and it's not it's not really one of the more iconic Disney films. It's not one that like gets talked about all that much.
I loved it.
So yeah, it kind of seems like this is for the adults that grew up on it.
Right. Yeah, Carly with
Like,
the
yeah, I
K's.
agree. Like, I thought this was a kids movie, but I wouldn't show this to a child.
Yeah, Carly with this K said, I definitely would have been scared because I was terrified of dogs. And she also said, I wonder if they're trying to make it for people who grew up watching as kids. And yeah, I think that as well. I think that, it is a lot of fun and I like when they do these sometimes, but it does seem like, okay, like let's give us some original content. Let's get back to the root of what Disney is.
Yeah.
And Bob Iger, who's the CEO of Disney or was, I saw an interview where he was talking about, he's like, well, we could always keep making these stories or live action because people just love them. The stories are so relatable. And I just feel like, yeah, I mean, I don't really want to see Lilo and Stitch live, I don't think. I want to see something fresh, something new. So
yeah, the live action experiments have failed quite miserably so far, and
good
it's only going to
example.
get worse as they keep going.
Good example, Pinocchio. Literally, no one I know has seen Pinocchio. I have not met a single person who's seen Pinocchio.
Was that actually a Disney movie?
Don't know.
Like a
I think
Disney
there's
made
two
movie?
versions. There's a Guillermo del Toro version, I think you refer, and there's also a Disney one.
What the hell?
I'm pretty sure.
That's weird.
You guys can fact check
the only
me in
thing
the comments. But all right, so that was Cruella. Again, let us know what you think in the comments below. Let us know if
Carly with a K says, let's get an Ursula backstory. Oh god,
that could be interesting. She
maybe.
because we haven't seen a lot of underwater stuff recently in the Disney world. But again, it all depends how it's done. But again, that's Cruella. Let us know in the comments below. And Matt, shut the fuck up and lets me say what I have to say. You guys can comment below.
See, you brought me to here to entertain, and I'm entertaining. All I want to say is I don't want to see some bullshit ass fucking crappy CGI underwater fucking animals. I don't want to see. I can't wait to see the Twitter photo. Like, this is how the crab. What's the crab's name? Sebastian the crab looks. That everyone's like, that's not Sebastian the crab.
Yeah, well, listen.
It's gonna.
If you navigate your life based on whatever everyone else is gonna react to and do, then you're not living your life. You're living life that people want you to live.
Yo, Dr. Umar, is that you?
No, all right. So that was Cruella. Comment below. Let us know what you think. Are you guys liking these villain origin story things? Is it kind of played out like Matt said? And yeah, let us know what you think.
Trash.